Hi, friend. Everything is figure outable. Recently, I've been thinking about how opening ourselves to all possibilities is really the key to figuring out so many things. I know that's like generic, but um, truly, I feel like sometimes we get stuck in what we're used to doing, what we're comfortable doing, or, sometimes we're in scenarios for out of necessity, for different periods of time, and it can kind of sometimes water down our ability to see possibilities elsewhere. And so today I just wanted to talk about possibilities and how like problems can have multiple solutions, right? Sometimes we get stuck in thinking of it has to be one way. And I'm just here to kind of remind myself as well as to remind you that there are multiple ways of going about things. And and a phrase that has been taught to me as well is everything is figure outable. And I feel like that ties in so well with just talking about possibilities and the potential for solutions. So for me, when I think of or try to think of opportunities that are kind of outside of the box, or try to think of like solutions to a problem, and it's just not clear to me yet of like how. Like the how sometimes can be very hard to figure out. Like maybe you know what you want to do, or maybe you know something that feels like something you don't want to do anymore, but the how of like how do I get to the new thing then can be really difficult to figure out. And so some of the things that have helped me in that process, and I in most of these videos, I think I say it, I'm still like, I'm in it, I'm learning, I'm, just kind of sharing what is helping me along my path here as well. And I'm sure there are other things out there too that are helpful. So I'd love to hear anything that's been helpful for you as well. But for me, I've been working on really jotting things down, journaling, and really just setting an intention as well of I'm open to all possibilities. You could say that as like an intention or an affirmation, just opening up like your heart, your mind to different possibilities. And it sounds so simple, but it can be very effective to just help get yourself into a mode, and almost like telling your mind or like your subconscious too of like look, we're gonna like we can, like there are other things out there, like let's open ourselves up to that and not just get stuck in where we're at right now or what we already know. So starting with that intention, journaling out what you can, like from what you know, from your experience, maybe from things that you've seen other people do. You can write those out as possibilities, but then also searching. So, of course, like researching and seeing what pops up. But I'm going to use like a job search for an example, just for something more concrete. But this could be applied in many ways. But like if you're searching for a job and, you know, I feel like it's really hard sometimes when you don't know that even like the area specifically. Maybe you know you want a job in a certain area, but maybe like not. It could be like you're open to different types of jobs. Okay. So it's not like you're looking for just one job title that you're searching. So if you're looking for multiple types of jobs, like that can it can be a lot to try to figure out like, okay, what search terms do I look for? Like, yeah, I kind of have an idea of what I want, but like, what does that even look like, and how do I like find that, right? And so starting with what you know, and then using those things to go and look for different search terms. Um, and like looking again, starting from what you know, and then looking in that to see if it kind of links you to other things, or notice like the wording that they use in other job, um, what is it, like descriptions, or articles related to that job, and you might find some other phrases that you can go into. Another thing, for me, this is where using like ChatGPT is helpful, for just generating like different phrases. So I use ChatGPT just very occasionally, and for me, it's mostly helpful for either if I need help with like organizing something, um, like organizing my thoughts in a certain way, or like taking like kind of a brain dump of something and making it into a more readable list, for example. Um, or kind of like this, where it's like I start off with an idea and then it can kind of automatically do a little bit of that for me, of just thinking of other, or generating or pulling out some other search terms that you could use, or other areas of a job. So, and then you can, of course, like then just do your own research obviously on that, and see what comes up. But the point is to, again, like even just like using a tool like ChatGPT, or using different search engines, like just thinking of different possibilities, is is gonna open up other doorways or other ideas. Um, and oh, there was one more thing I wanted to mention with that. Let me see. Searching for examples. Oh yeah, and then um, when you like are jotting things down too, for me, it's really helpful to kind of do a brain dump, write down all that I can, and then do like kind of little bits of like researching, but then leaving it, because sometimes when I come back to it later, after I've had some time away from it, even just reading back through, that will help me come up with other ideas. Or reading back through, sometimes like I'll look at one thing that I had written and then I think of, oh, there are kind of other subcategories under this that I could explore. So there's lots of kind of ways that you can kind of spark some of those different ideas. Again, like researching, looking for inspiration elsewhere, um, and taking that pause, like taking a break, because that in itself can be helpful to help generate new ideas. And then, and yeah, like using kind of what, like starting with what you have and seeing if you can get any other like subcategories under that. So, like taking one topic and seeing how far you can go with that, and how much you can kind of branch off from that one thing. So, another example that I wanted to give as well. So that was like a work example. But with like the work that I do as well, like a lot of what my job has been the past several years is helping people essentially to figure out like ways through barriers. So what that can look like is like changing someone's environment, or changing the way that they're asked a question or given a task, or using strengths that they have to help them overcome things that are more challenging. So those are all ways essentially where you're looking at other possibilities, right? It really all comes down to this concept, I think. So I love this, like, there's a quote out there, something about like, if a flower doesn't bloom, like you change the environment, you don't change the flower. And that's like a perfect example of looking for other possibilities, right? So, you have a problem, something isn't working, like the flower is not blooming. Maybe you check the seed, maybe it's it's an old seed packet. I would be guilty of that. Maybe it's an old seed packet and then you get a fresh seed packet and it's okay. Or, the flower is growing, but it's not doing too hot. Um, so again, it could be the soil, it could be the amount of sunlight it's getting, right? And so all of those different things that you're changing or tweaking or trying out is a different possibility. It's one element that you are exploring and um, expanding on really kind of your problem solving. So um, yeah, so it was just like having different possibilities and just opening yourself up to, wow, there can be more out there, right? Truly, like if there's something that you don't like, you do have the power to change it. And that's something, again, I'm saying this kind of for myself as well, of just remembering like you do have that in you. You have the power. Even if it's not, if we're talking about like a big change, like a major life change that you're trying to make, of course, you might not be able to change it immediately, right? And that's something too that is hard to grasp sometimes. Like if you want to make a change, but it's not coming as fast as you would like. That doesn't mean that you're not making changes and that is not going to happen. It's just you still have the power to figure out possibilities to get there. It just might take some time. So, yeah, so just wanted to share about like truly everything is figure outable and we have the power to think of different possibilities and I just can't understate how powerful that really is and we all have that in us and I think sometimes we get stuck in ruts or just ways that things have been done. I do see it a lot sometimes, at at work or something where it's like, oh, this is how we've done it. And it's like, which is fine, but if there's like things that are being missed or like I can be a very like procedural person. So like I thrive with like having like a written out workflow or like figuring like writing out my workflow, especially if it's something that it's like this is something that everyone has to do or everyone is doing. So if things are getting missed, it's like, let's figure out where that gap is, right? But sometimes we get stuck in this is just how we've done it and like we figured it out and it's like, it is what it is. But then again, that's closing yourself off to other possibilities. Well, what if we can do it more efficiently? Or what if we can do it more effectively or in a way that is less stress on everyone potentially, right? So there are other possibilities out there. And I truly think like the more that we just everyone as humans, we are able to open ourselves up to other possibilities. Um, it changes not just our lives like individually, but it opens us up as a society to find solutions to things or to make things better for everyone. Um, and yeah, so I feel like, and it also, we can tie this into like just different beliefs as well, just general acceptance. Like if we're opening ourselves up to the possibility that someone has a different opinion than us, right? Or that someone comes from a different upbringing than us and might have different experiences that they're pulling from in this situation. Like, if we open ourselves up to that possibility, that just makes us more of a compassionate, understanding person, right? So it ties into so many aspects. But again, I just want to really, really drill in that everything is figure outable. And if there is something in your life that you don't like, that you want to change, you do have the power to change it. It's just a matter of working through the possibilities, and it might not be immediate, and it might take a lot of time and a lot of research and a lot of just being open to maybe seeing possibilities in your own life, right? Like maybe you do some research and like you're not really getting a breakthrough, but like maybe you'll run into someone who has a story and it's like, whoa, like that's what I was looking for. Like that's sparked another possibility in your mind. Like, so just being open to other experiences and other things that might kind of bring in those answers for you as well. So, thank you for being here. Until the next time.